Back. Now we're going to cover walkthrough 2, styling our classes and IDs with CSS. This is correlated to exercise 2. The instructions for this will be below the video. So again, watch and observe. You may not grasp all of this the first time or the first few times even. Just keep practicing, and it will all click. And again, we're working towards this final website, which looks like this. So per instructions, we're going to style all our divs and spans first, starting with our footer and a div tag in our footer. So first we're going to make this rule and we'll leave it blank. We'll come back to this rule later. If you look at our final product, our copyright's all colored. Right now we can't read it at all. It's all dark. So we're going to color our paragraph tag within our footer. And we do that using a CSS child selector, footer, P, color. I could write white, but I'm going to use the hex value, which is 6Fs. I'm hitting Command S or Control S on Windows constantly. I'm always saving and previewing in my work. Anytime we see a hex value repeat itself like this, for example, F 6 times, 0 6 times, whatever it might be, you can use a shorthand format and just write the same characters 3 times. Command S, save. I'm going to preview. And the great thing with brackets is it reloads it for us on the fly. There we go. Now we can read. Then if we look at our final part, it's silver here in the span. So you want our name to be silver. So I'm going to do footer, span. Oops, nope, that's not right. Because it's footer, P, then span. See how that nesses? So footer, P, span. Again, footer is the main parent here. And the color will be silver. You can use whatever colors you like as well. Then the next thing we're going to tackle is the social media. Notice there's a class of social media here. We're going to leave that blank. We'll come back to that later. The next thing we want to do is style all of the images in social media. Right now you see there are these big circles. See right now? On our final product, there's smaller little circles. We can actually use a ruler, Chrome plugin called a ruler, to measure the width and the height of these little circles. But we're given the width and height. So the width is 32 pixels and the height is 32 pixels. I'm going to save, Command S, reload, and look at that already. It's small. We're getting closer and closer to our final product. Great job so far. Now we're going to move on and style our IDs, starting with the logo. We see right here it's colored, it's white, we can read it. Right now it's not colored at all. We're going to give it some life and color. So right under header, create an ID of logo, hashtag symbol logo, because that's the name of this ID. I'm going to use our curly braces, and we're going to color it white. And look at that, boom. It's already coming to life. It's starting to look similar to our final product. The next thing we want to do is we want to style our selfie. You see it's rounded right now in our final product. On our website it's squared, and there's a special CSS property called border radius that will allow us to make a circle. So the first thing we're going to do, we've given our image an ID of selfie, so right under main we're going to do ID selfie. I'm going to use a property border radius 100%. Now look at that, it's a circle. And let's just look at inspector and take a look at this. If we mess around, say we give it 10%, notice we get these nice rounded edges. And the more we increase it, it turns into a circle after 50%. And we have a full-on circle. So that's it for our IDs. Now we're going to look at our classes. So right under body, we want to create a class of container. And notice there's a flow here. Under body, we have a class of container. So we're going to do container. And we're going to give it a width of 960 pixels. And that's how wide it will be. And keep an eye out for these typos. Sometimes they'll auto-suggest windows. Notice I caught it there. And notice it's getting more boxed in. Look at that. But it's not centered yet, and we'll touch on that in the next lesson. And we're just going to give this entire div the background color white as well. And look at that, we're getting closer and closer to this looking like your final product. With a few more touches, we'll be there. Now under main, and Command F is a nice way to find things. We're going to write a comment. We're going to call it section content. Select that, turn that into a comment. Then the next thing we'll do is we'll create a class and call it content. And this class will be correlated to all these sections here. And if we wanted to add more sections in the future, because right now everything is towards the left, notice that? And everything here is centered. So we use a CSS property called text align, center, center everything. And look at that, now everything is centered. This property has different values as well. You can move things to the left, or to the right, or to the center, like we want it. Then the next class we'll touch on will be called active, which is what we made right up here. And it will be right under social media. The first thing we're going to do is make a comment. So the active class will show which page we are on. And this will make more sense later. We're going to do active. And what we mean by that is if we see here, I'm on the home page is underlined. I'm on the contact page is underlined. And that's what active is going to allow us to do. We're going to give it the font weight, bold. And for example, if you wanted to bold your text, you can just Google CSS bold text, and it will give you the CSS property that allows you to bold your text. So get in the habit of Googling things as well. Again, you can Google CSS underline text, and the text decoration property will come up with the value underline. I notice now if you look at our home page, home is bolded and underlined. So make sure to save your file, preview this in Chrome. It's a lot. Take a breather if you need to, but you've done an amazing job so far, and we'll meet you in the next unit.